Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Will Wareham with WHHI-TV. I'm coming to you today from City Hall in downtown Beaufort, and our first guest is Bill Prokop, who is the city manager of Beaufort, and Neil Puglisi, who's the senior project manager for the Boundary Street redevelopment project. Next, I'll be joined by Stephen Murray, city councilman, Karen Warner, who is the new program manager at the Beaufort Digital Corridor, and John Verity, chairman of the Beaufort Redevelopment Commission. So stick around for more 843 TV, where communities come to speak.
(843 TV), where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
(843 TV),
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. I'm now joined by Bill Prokop and Neil Puglisi, city manager of Beaufort and senior project manager. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
So Neil, you're a senior project manager here for the city of Beaufort, is that right?
That's correct.
And one of the big projects we've got going on here is the Boundary Street redevelopment project. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your involvement in the Boundary Street project?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely.
My background is a Marine of better than 30 years of service,
Okay.
and I recently retired from the Marine Corps Recruit Depot at Parris Island as the director of operations.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. It's been good. It's been good, and the transition to Beaufort, the city of Beaufort, has been fantastic.
And so the Boundary Street redevelopment project here, are we about the halfway point? Is that what you'd say?
So we are about the halfway point. We've hit a pretty notable milestone, and that is the right duct bank has been completed, which means that the utility lines, have been placed underground. As you'll see when traveling down the road, you'll see poles with a bunch of lines on them on one side, and then they're conspicuously absent on the other side. Well, the south end of Boundary Street, those lines have been put beneath ground.
And why is that important? Why is it important to have overhead power and communication cables underground?
Well, if we take a look at safety studies, so you're going to reduce accidents by probably about 47%. You're going to reduce injuries by about 39% by taking utility lines, utility poles, and putting them beneath the surface of the street.
So it's a safety issue in addition to a cosmetic.
And I'd add to that, Will, let's just go back a couple of weeks. How much business was lost on Boundary Street because we didn't have power because either trees or lines were down? If they were underground, we wouldn't have that issue. And again, just take 3-4 days of every business that was closed. How much business was lost? And how many customers were not served because of power shortages?
Yeah, and obviously we're talking about the hurricane and the damage that Hurricane Matthew caused. Did the hurricane cause any setbacks with regard to the progression of the Boundary Street project?
So we have a very slight delay in the project, but I would mark it down in a matter of days, okay, not in a matter of weeks. But this lends to the incredible cooperation that we've had with the utilities, the business owners, the city employees, and notably the contractors that are actually working on the Boundary Street project.
Right. I think that some of our viewers may not realize how many moving parts and how many participants are involved in this project, a project of this scope. So for our viewers watching today, what can people expect to see between now and say springtime of 2017?
Well, I think the first thing, as Neil was saying, you're going to see the switch to the other side of the street now.
Okay.
The work will start right at the intersection here of Rebo Road and go towards Neil Road, and it will be slow, and because most of the businesses are on this side of the street. And what you just said is so true, that people don't realize that you're dealing with 3 or 4 utilities, a water company. You have as much as, I believe it's a 36-inch water pipe, and it might be a 48-inch water pipe as well as a 2-inch whatever pipe, and you also have, at least in a part of the project, the 911
Sure.
service lines for all police and fire protection. So everything has to go step by step by step.
Right.
And in addition, in the next 6 months, we'll be seeing the intersection of 170 going across by Chick-fil-A, et cetera, being done there. But again, we're doing the First Street bypass, new sidewalks, widening of the street, water lines, et cetera. So, but basically everything people saw on the left side, the next 6 months they're going to see on the right side. And hopefully we'll have the same amount of issues on this side that we had on the other side, but quite honestly, we do expect more because just there's more on this side of the road.
Okay, fair enough. But I got to tell you, I'm excited just driving down it right now. It already looks like a big improvement. Okay, so I guess the $1 million question or several $1 million question here is the Boundary Street redevelopment project on budget and on schedule?
Both.
Really?
On time, on budget. So we're very, very fortunate. And again, the cooperation with all the stakeholders has been value added.
And just for a reminder for our viewers, so we're looking for a target completion date of when?
I'd probably say, and I don't want to get in trouble with my boss here, but I want to say probably January, February of 2018, it'll be absolutely complete.
Okay, so just a little bit more than a year.
Exactly.
And I think the important number here is that to date, our total change orders are about $130,000. That's to date. And there's over a $5 million contingency for coverages of overages.
Oh, wow.
So at 40% of the project done, and to have only change orders, and that's only 6 change orders with the contractor, which again shows the cooperation we've been getting with everybody and the work that's been done. But we do expect more change orders, again, because there's more issues that we have to have. But at this point, we don't expect any surprises that financially and the on time, depending on weather, if we get another hurricane or heavy rain, we've been fortunate the last few weeks. But so far, we believe the project will come in on the budget that we have, and I agree with Neil, definitely within the first quarter of 18, hopefully as early in January, but it might be February, but we don't know.
Well, that's fantastic, and that speaks a great deal to your team and the job you're doing. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And stick around for another segment of 843 TV.